Hey guys, this is probably my most important video to date, and I'd like to dedicate this video to little Zoe. She's my daughter's half sister, and she passed away at the age of 8 yesterday. And she wanted to become a geologist, and I'm sure she would have been a real good geologist. And I just want to say that we miss you, Zoe, and you are very loved, and you are forever in our hearts. It's no secret that I claim that this planet is covered by reoccurring patterns. And I also claim that these reoccurring patterns, when they are overlaid, reveal secrets about our planet that our current science doesn't know or understand. And it's true. It does exactly what I claim it does. And that's what I've been working on for 3 years now, is showing people alignments and exposing things about our planet that nobody knows. And sometimes people can't see the alignments, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. It could just mean that the bias from plate tectonics limits our ability to see the world for what it is. So basically, I'm going to take this pattern right here and I'm going to match it with other ones around the planet to show you what they reveal. And you can see that this looks a lot like this, which also looks a lot like, well, this right here. Right here, which reminds me of a tunnel. It also looks like this. And so basically those are probably the ones that I have time to do today. So what proves that these are reoccurring patterns of one another is that when they do line up, then you look at the other areas around for alignments and you work from there. And that's how I know they're all connected. And when I overlay these images, the difference between the images due to morphing will reveal the story about our planet's creation. And it's pretty amazing, actually, because really nobody knows about this. So let's get started. Okay, in this first alignment, I'm going to start close and work my way further away, pretty much. And I wanted to line this right up here with this. And some of these might be difficult to see through, but you just got to give it a few. You can tell already when I line this up, you can see that it matches the Himalayas right here, which they claim is a plate collision. But like I always say, plate collisions can't have reoccurring patterns now, can they? When you think about it. And it matches up to here. You can see that it actually matches all the way. Look. It just might need to rotate just a hair, but actually it might not. You can see these lines right here matching up. Let's see, right? Make sure I get the right alignment. Right there, I believe. And also, I gotta remind you that this is moving through. But what's trippy about this is when I line this up here, you can take a look at here and see that this seems to match. Hold on, let me pull this center. Okay, you just have to let your eyes get used to this. You can see how this mimics the way this is right here. then but it does. But it's moving, so let's take a look around. When I line this up here, you can see down here there's some correlation going on right here. This is what I hate. I have to describe the whole thing and it takes forever. But you can see when I move it around, I believe this flips around, but we're worried about this right now. You can see that this fits into here. You can see how when I move this down, you can see that that fits around there. This comes to that point right there because this is a reoccurring pattern of this too. You could take this area and you can slide it up there and it's going to fit. But look at right here. Whoa. Oh shit, right here. You can see how this bends with this arm right here. You can just see the relationship here. When I move it over here, right here, possibly there, and okay, this is going weird. So we were started here originally. What's trippy is Australia, how that the markings fit along India. See how it comes to a point right here? I wonder if that means that, yeah, that this line's up here. Believe me, it gets weirder than this. Look how this looks like it's wrapping around it. It looks like it's wrapping complete. I've been claiming is that I believe that some of these continents actually wrapped around the other, as strange as that sounds, on a smaller planet, and that they've been blown open because the Earth is expanded. I said before in the past that for some reason Australia reminds me of like it came from a smaller planet, and the reason why I think that is because of the radius right here. It's tighter than say the radius right here, this arch. You see how wide that is, and then you got a sharp radius right here, and it makes me think of a smaller globe that this may have been wrapped around. And then another cool thing about Australia is that, well, if you take this southwest Indian Ridge and you line it up with its features right here like that, and then you just simply slide it over, you could see how it could be responsible for Australia's features too. That's a perfect fit. That's not a coincidence. You can't have it fit here and then move it over again and fit here. And you can see the background features also playing a role in this. You can't have all that be a coincidence at the same time. This is impossible according to plate tectonics because this is supposedly a ridge that's spreading. And then if you simply rotate this, you can also make it fit around the coastline too. should point out before I leave though, this right here, because it looks like it's part of that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to line up is that on here there's this. So I got a straight on shot of it and see what happens when I line that up. See, we went from here, and this looks like a wave. Oh, and this also fits in here, right here, but I'm going to move this up to here. And when I do, you can see that this looks like it's related to the overspill. This, see how this lines up and this comes out? And I think this is where it starts spinning around too. Which I think would make this arm, because this would then flip around. That's kind of hard to say, but look at the alignment with India, with these features right here. You can tell that that's related to this. And then when it comes up to here, you can see that this fits in here, and this moves up to here. But that's backtracking. You know, I'm just moving it. It probably originally came the other way, I guess. I'm not sure. And I think that's about all I can show on that. Except for moving this up more. And showing how this lines up in here. But that's, I gotta move on. But before I do, let me just move this back here. I just started noticing some similarities though with Australia coming in. And then you got how it lines up. It almost looks like this busted through. And then of course it's curved from the planet being a globe, and so I can only go so far. But look at that. You can see the similarities as it's moving through. See? Right there. It just keeps going and going. Revealing more about the planet. So let me move on. Okay, here's a really good one. This one's actually, this one blew my mind actually, because it reveals a huge secret. What it was is I noticed that this is shaped like this too. See how it's like that? And this is the same thing. So what I did is like you already know, I lined it up. And when I lined it up, I noticed how good this aligned, but see, you can see how it lines up here. The slide marks here, it reveals what these slide marks are. And what these slide marks have to be is they have to be where this area is reversed, because you can see it's backwards here. Look, here's the guy right here. When I line them up, it has to mean that this flipped around. This is where it reversed. Let me back out. And you can see that this also seems to line up with this overspill the curvature of Australia. And I'm sure this flips around and then does this. This is really complicated, but the alignments are what they are, and they don't really lie. They line up or they don't line up. And you can just see that this is something. So this flips around, and it's staggered too. And then what I do is I move stuff around to see what else lines up, see if there's anything that I missed. There seems to be correlation here with India and these slide marks also. So you can see that not only is there a correlation here, but when you slightly rotate this, you can see that there's a correlation with India too. So this is something I have to think about and figure out, but I'm sure it's true because when you look at that, you can see how it fits in here, and it looks like it was spinning. Look at the features on India compared to the white areas here. They look like as if they're related. You can even see some of these lines going the same direction. Possibly like that, see? All I really care about is the fact that they align, and then the rest can be figured out later. So, on to the next. Okay, this next area right here is reversed. And sometimes you just have to reverse these because they're the back side of it or something. But here you got that same thing right here as this. So I'm going to overlay them and see what happens. Okay, you can see right away that when I overlay this, you can see that this matches these markings right here. See the black area? It looks like it rotates a little bit, but it does match. You can see it. And then what's trippy is that when it lines up, you can see that here's the Marianas Trench, and see how it's curling? That makes me think that it's wrapping around. Every time I see curls like that, like this even, it reminds me of like an opening, like when it wasn't flattened like it is on the surface now, that it was actually opening, and this actually looks like it's wrapping around like that because this is turning, this is spinning, this is a vortex. So it might be, that might be how it's, I don't know, it's confusing. It could be the way that it's sucking up matter, or it's just the way that it's coating the vortex, you know, and spinning around. And you can see this other vortice right here. Probably an evolutionary progression into this. But look at the matching right here. And this probably goes over it, who knows. But look at the coincidental. Now is this a coincidence or what? Look at that fit too. Look at these islands, the similarities of their spacing. And this is spinning right here, and you can see that this looks like the result of it as I move it over right there. See how it still fits the, look how it fits that shape. There's no way that that's an accident. Look. And then you look at how it plays into this. This is twisting. See, I just move it over and it just kind of explains everything. Look how it wraps around this guy right here. And you got that vortex top right here. Oh, okay, so you can tell that these are related. And you know what's trippy is that when this wraps around here, you just look down here and you see what looks like an R and an O and a B, of course, but never mind that. What I'm looking at is this, looking at like an R also. Very similar, and lining up with this feature. It looks like it spells my name. And so, and then look, you got the white area fitting into there. So what I need to do is get, in another video, well maybe this one too, I don't know, is get the straight on shots of this area, because it looks actually like it's solid. From my experience with this, this will just line up exactly perfect with the features over here. And next, I guess, and it's hard to see through Australia, but I'm sure Australia really reveals some stuff underneath it too when I have more time, I guess. There's a lot I gotta do here, so. And then you can see the similarities here with this area right here, this that sits over here normally. The bow tie effect, the twisting. This is twisting, which is, you know, this is twisting too, obviously. They're all images of the same thing over and over again. That's what makes up our planet's surface features, is reoccurring patterns of the same image but different progressions by depth, I guess. And they have to be of the core of the planet. That's what these images are. There's no planet when this is taking place. This is happening in the center, where the center is now, and it's forming a planet. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll just move on to the next thing, which of course will be Central America here. Well, actually South America. But you can see that we got this round area here, this one here. So I'm just going to go ahead and line it up. And when I do, it kind of doesn't make sense, so I'm thinking this might be reversed. So I'm going to reverse this. There, reversed like that. I think it goes, for some reason these things fit both directions, like as if they wrap around. But you'll notice that North America is upside down here, and it looks a lot like the features over here, especially that R. So I'm going to take straight on shots and take a look here. So this is pretty trippy. Watch this alignment. This is so trippy to my eyes, because look at it. It looks like North America comes out, but look at this crazy, when I get it in there, it's almost hard to tell which one's what. Right there, I think right here. You see how it looks, how it plays into one another? Like, well, let's start with the easy part right here. This guy right here, see how it's got this shape? Well, it seems to play into this, and then you could see that this plays into it too. Look at Alaska wrapping right into there. As this wraps here, and then this is a very difficult one to see through, but you can see that there's something trippy going on here. And what's trippy is when you line this up like that, I guess. You can see that these look like they're wrapping around Australia with the Hawaiian island chain up here. And I think a long time ago I made this connection with by other means, but I knew that Hawaii was also related to the features on Australia. And what also is weird is when I look at this from this angle, you look at India and you look at South America here, and see how this wraps around too now. So I'm going to go get straight on shots of this and take a look. But before I do that, I should show you this. I almost forgot. You got the east coast here. You got this pointy thing right here, right? It fits. It looks like it fits right there as the rest of this fits in. Let me dim it out, maybe. Maybe that makes it more, or makes it easier to see. See, I think that goes in there, but this also I think goes in there too. Right, I'm sorry, right here. And then you can see how this kind of fits in here. But then when I pull this back, there, like that, you can see that it fits in again. See? And then Florida starts to make more sense right here. And the Mississippi Delta right here lining up with features. And on top of that, you got this rounded area right here, and you can see that, well, it's hard to see, but you could kind of see that it fits into here too as it's moving through. Okay, so now for the other one, let's see. Okay, here's the other one with South America and India. Okay, so here's South America. When I put it up here like that, you can see this is moving through. See, when I line this up where I had it before, you can see there's something going on here with this part matching up with India. But what's even trippier is when you bring this over, you know, now that I'm looking at this, you see how this fits right here? And then you got this right here. This almost looks like, oh, I'm almost starting to think that this wraps around. That these wrap around India, because look, let me see something here. just looking at it, look, it looks like it's like when it's up here. Okay. It looks like an evolutionary progression here. I wonder if these might be from here. These are the Galapagos Islands are over here and stuff, and I'm wondering because India has a tale of about a city that or something slipped into the ocean, and I'm wondering. See, the markings do match up and stuff. It's crazy, but look, when I bring this down, these features look at that, like they sat on top of this and this wrapped around. Because it just does. Look, and this looks like if each one was to wrap around. It's hard to explain, but for instance, okay, like these Birkeland currents, they wrap around. Say if this is to wrap around, then this would be reversed on the back side. So let me get a copy of that. Okay, here's some close-up shots. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out because, okay, this kind of just fits into here. Looks like. So I'm claiming that this may in fact wrap around like that. I'm not sure, but from here, okay, no, I meant like from here, then this would be turned the other way. And it would fit like that from see how it fits in there? And it does. Under scrutiny too. You can actually see how things fit in here. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't know how much more I can handle of this. This is getting to me. Oh my god.